guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys. I've been getting a lot of questions about how and why my children are so smart. This is a genuine question that I get a lot. People ask me how they have developed their language skills beyond their age, how my oldest daughter Alexa is already able to identify words, how they all know the alphabet and they're not even 3 and 2 years old, and their numbers and shapes like octagon and pentagon. So I wanted to sit down and just talk to you guys about some of the things that I have done. So if you're interested in learning how your toddlers can be brilliant too, then just keep watching. I will say that one big thing is reading. Obviously, we know, a lot of us know that reading and access to language is huge. How many, Charlotte?
2. No.
3 cars. That's right, Charlotte. No. So one thing I think is critical is not dumbing down your language with your kids. I think a lot of times people think that if a word is big, a child is not able to learn it. And so they really dumb down their speaking. But in reality, children can learn any word that you present to them. They can learn any word. For example, my 18-month-olds say excavator every time we go out and see bulldozers, excavators, backhoes. They know all of those words because we've read this one book 1,000,000 times about large construction vehicles and tools. In the tree? What do you see, Charlotte?
Excavator.
Excavator?
Excavator.
Look.
Excavator.
It is. And what are they building over there? So having your children have access to language that may be a little bit unique, maybe a little difficult to say, that is what's going to give them the catalyst to piecing sentences together and being able to, I guess, kind of view language as easier. Everyday language is a lot easier when you're challenged by those bigger words. Another thing that we do a lot is that if we do watch TV, for one, they don't have any iPads. There's no screens in that way, but we do have TV. And when they watch TV, it's always educational. We watch Akili and Me, which is an African-based phonics and language TV show. It has CVC word blending in it. It has sentence structure stuff in it. It has phonics, so letter sounds, long A, short A. And there's all these cool songs like the letter H makes the H sound. Happy hippo, go and give us a hey. Help us out to learn the letter H.
Jump, 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 jump with me, jump with me. Jump, 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 J, jump, 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 jump.
Go, Lessa.
Jump.
So that's a really, really great show. Cannot recommend it enough for cultural exposure, for phonics and words, sight word learning and all of that. It's an excellent show. We don't watch it nonstop, but that show, just having songs, they have a song for every single letter of the alphabet. So Sesame Street is top quality, top-notch programming. Sesame Street is amazing for soft and hard skills. So emotional intelligence, learning like things like, you know, how you feel in a certain situation, and the letter of the day is F for frustrated, and learning about what does it mean to feel frustrated, and this puppet has autism, and what does that mean. We also do story time and circle time every day, where we will go over the alphabet, sight words. So I'll hold up a card and they'll tell me. We also have sight word books, tons of sight word books that's just like, what's that? Orange, apple, elephant, igloo. I mean, just tons of different shapes and colors and pictures. Actually, I can show you that.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Good job, Charlotte. 6.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Good job.
Yay.
Yeah. Charlotte, can you say 6, 7?
8, 9, 10.
Yay, Charlotte! You did it, Charlotte. Books that I have that have been really helpful with that. Another thing that I do is I spend a lot of time talking to my kids, and so I say things to them that people may not say. For example, like I'll say something like, when they come home from preschool, I'll say something like, I really missed you at preschool today. I was thinking about you the whole time you were gone. And as soon as it turned 12 o'clock, I got in the car and came and got you. And I'm so happy to see you and be with you now. And that type of, I guess what I'm trying to say is I narrate a lot, and I have ever since they were little tiny babies. So I narrate my time away from them. I tell them what I did. At the end of the day, I'll say, what did you do today that you love? Did you have fun today? Did you give Miss Simpkins a big hug at preschool? My kids go to preschool twice a week for 3 hours. So they're only there for a very, 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 very short time. But in that time, they get a lot of good socialization, and it gives us a lot to talk about. So I'll say, you drew me this beautiful picture. What color is the picture? What shapes are on the picture? What is it a picture of? And I really challenge them to basically talk to me. And when they give me one-word responses, I challenge them to extend. So they'll say, it's blue. And I'll say, yes, the snowman is blue. Or, that they colored. And I'll say, can you say that? The snowman is blue? And I challenge them to say full sentences. My son Wesley, like his teacher was telling me the other day, she was like, he has above average speech capabilities. Like Wesley is very far advanced in terms of sentence structure. So whereas Charlotte will repeat like phrases, she'll say something like, no thanks, I don't want it. Wesley will say something like, look, mommy, a truck. That type of sentence structure is something that even Alexa was not capable of until she was well over 2 years. Purple witch, was that you? Were you the one who shouted boo? No, it wasn't me. Blue spider, was that you? Were you the one who shouted boo? No, it wasn't me. And so children develop at different rates, and that's perfectly fine and normal. And whatever rate your child is developing at is great. If you're working with your child, if you're reading to them, you don't have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us are sitting around reading to our children all day, every day. I mean, Wesley will get on a kick about once in a day where he will want me to read every book that we own in the house. And I literally got hoarse the other day from reading books to him. But on the whole, I, spend about 30 minutes to an hour a day max on educational stuff. And then we spend the whole day learning through play. So we'll go outside on a walk and I'll say, ooh, what do you hear? Let's listen to our feet crunch the leaves. Crunch, crunch, crunch. We sing songs. We look up at the sky. What color is the sky? Being observant, being mindful of your surroundings, and teaching your children to be mindful, that in and of itself really helps. Whoa, what's that you feel? Do you feel the wind? What do you hear? Somebody's building a house.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
What are you doing, Charlotte?
Oh,
Now, I have had so many parents reach out to me and say, my children won't sit and listen to a story. I'll try to read to them. I'll try to teach them, and they just won't. I have 3 kids with very different personalities. Alexa was the type that always loved a story. Wesley recently started loving stories. Charlotte loves stories, but she's not going to sit down and listen to it. But I know that Charlotte is absorbing everything I want her to. I'm reading the story aloud. She's tinkering around. And then all of a sudden, she'll pipe up and say, like, we have this book about Halloween, and it says, black cat, was that you? Were you the one who shouted boo? And then the black cat says, no, it wasn't me. And so I'll read the first part, and then I'll hear Charlotte. She's over there tinkering with her toys. I'll see her go like this. Or then a few minutes later, she'll say, no, wasn't me. And so I know that she's listening. So just because your child is not sitting there focused on you while you're trying to play school, it doesn't mean that they're not learning. read out loud. Read out loud with animation. A lot of times, the more animated and more excited you are when you're reading, the more it will pull their attention away from whatever they're interested in. So whereas Charlotte sometimes will not start out sitting there listening to me, by the end of the story, she's looking over my shoulder to listen to the story. Quack, says a
Duck.
A horse says
Nay.
good. It's quiet.
And now.
What do you say?
Say.
Because
What?
everybody else is enraptured. And that's another thing I want to say is a lot of people think that children should just want to sit down and listen to you go over flashcards, and that some people, no, that's not how kids are. They're distracted and they're up and they're moving and then they're coming back. But a chicken is,
No.
the pig is,
Shirt.
the giraffe is.
Tall.
Absorbing way more than you can ever imagine. So keep at it. Keep reading out loud. And if you notice like your child is not saying anything at all past a certain point, then you know, like say like your child's 18, 20 months old and they're still making grunting sounds and they're not really making any words, that's okay. Talk to a early intervention specialist. They have early intervention specialists for speech delays. A lot of people don't know this, so I'm just sharing this in case you don't. Please forgive me if you do know this. I'm not trying to be presumptuous, but a lot of people do not know this, and I have made the recommendation to them that, you know, the earlier you intervene, so like say, like I said, 18, 20, 22 months, and you're still not getting any language skills, that's okay. Like, it's okay to reach out to professionals and help guide you along. Doesn't mean anything is wrong with your kids. In fact, I've had a lot of friends who their children turned out to be absolutely brilliant and they had speech delay. It's okay. It's nothing that you did wrong. And in a lot of situations, it's nothing that the parent did. It's just simply the child's development, and you can seek out services, and a lot of times those services are free. So if you have a child who has speech delay and you're not really getting anything from them at all, then you can seek out those services, and it's perfectly okay to do that. I know as a parent you freak out when you think that there could possibly be anything wrong with your child, but just know that there are services available, and if you reach out to your local county or city government, you can find a lot of those resources for early intervention. They'll come to your home and they'll help your child start to develop those speech skills. So I wanted to put that out there in case people did not know that. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions. Like, people think that my kids sit around in this structured environment and I'm teaching them, and they're watching my Insta stories and they're like, how does your kids know all this? Like, I cannot tell you how many messages I get in a day. I am a teacher. I'm an English teacher, and so I do value education, and I look for an opportunity to educate my kids in every way. And a lot of people don't have time for that. They may be working a different job that's very taxing, or, you know, they may rely on school or whatever to help bridge that gap for them. But as much as you can, just using play as a way of learning. If you have an orange block, say, oh, what color is that block? And what shape is that block? It's a rectangle, and a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Extend when you're educating your kids. Anything, you can extend on anything, anywhere, anytime. So let me give you an example of an extension that you might use. Alexa might say, oh, mommy, what's on your shirt? And I'll say, ooh, that's a pizza. And she'll say, yeah, pizza. And I'll say, what kind of pizza? Pepperoni pizza. What colors do you see? I see yellow and red. Oh, yellow and red. What shapes do you see? The pizza is a triangle and has circles. Oh, wow. How many circles do you see? I see 6 circles. Do you see any letters? Yes, the letter F. Fries. Fries. Do you see fries? This is how you extend. This is what I mean by extending. All I took was this little triangle of a pizza on my shirt, and now we have to ask about 10, 12 questions about that one thing. And so for those of you who find it difficult, think about the questions that you can ask about anything around you. What do you see? I see a button. What shape is the button? The button is a circle. What color is the button? The button is white. Ooh, where is the button? It is on the chair. And now you've gotten into prepositions. Oh, it's on the chair. What's above the chair? The ceiling is above the chair. What color is the ceiling? The ceiling is white. So these are just examples of how you can extend with your toddlers. And it's never too early to start. When Alexa was 3 months old, I was reading her books and extending with her, asking her questions, answering them for her because she had no clue and couldn't even hold her head up. Same thing with Charlotte and Wesley. I was reading to them. I would put a lot of pressure on myself because it was so hard in those early days to like fit in education because I was just meeting their endless demands, and I had 3 babies essentially. But we just made learning into everything. When we go on walks, we point to the sky. When we see a plane, when we see a bird, we say, good morning, Mr. Squirrel. Wish you well, Mr. Squirrel. Have a great day, Mr. Squirrel. And Alexa has really started, she's turning 3 next month, and she's really started to pick up on those manners. And it really makes me proud, like when we go somewhere and she'll say, good morning, Grandma. Now that kind of embarrassed me. One day she just sought out this random stranger that was an older lady, and she said good morning grandma to her. But you know, saying good morning to people, saying please, say thank you, the behavior that you model is the way that they'll treat each other, and it's the way they'll treat themselves. And so, like, for example, that has been really positive in that I try to model very kind behavior to my kids. Like, I'll say, no, don't step on Mr. Ant. Mr. Ant is just trying to get home to his family, just like we want to do when we get in the car and go home at the end of the day. We don't harm Mr. Ant, no. And you're teaching them to be kind and do no harm. But at the same time, there can be consequences. Like, for example, when I talk to my daughter, Alexa, sometimes, like, I'm the type of parent who really tries to respect my kids. And in that way, I hope that they will respect me. Obviously, there's boundaries to that and everything. But, for example, I'll say, like, oh, I'm sorry, Alexa. I didn't mean to, like, one day I jerked up her juice cup and I just drank all the rest of it. And she had a toddler moment. And she was like, you drank my water. I was like, I'm sorry, Alexa. I didn't realize that you wanted more. And mommy just wasn't thinking, that's okay. I can get you more. And I'm happy to share more with you. And I noticed that Alexa has started to apologize a lot. And so one thing I want to work on is teaching her when to apologize and when to not apologize. For example, when I was laying her down just a few minutes ago, she had like dropped the pillow off of the bed, and she said, oh, mommy, the pillow. And I said, oh yeah, I'll grab it for you. And she said, I'm sorry, mama. I don't like when she apologizes for things that, because you know, like women culture where it's like, you know, women are constantly always apologizing for things. So anyway, there's always room for improvement for everything in the way that we model to our kids, but everything that you say and do can be a learning opportunity. So this video is way long, but I wanted to answer that question. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.